Hello, welcome back to another video. So in the previous video, we talked about system requirements, pre-installation steps, and installations. So in this video, we'll talk about post-installation tasks. So let's move on to the post-installation tasks. So in the post-installation task, the first activity is to configure the security, right? So how are we configuring the security? We will first configure the environment using the SAS Environment Manager. Once the installation is over, you will have the SAS Environment Manager available for you. Your SAS environment is deployed with an initial administrator account that is named as SAS Boot, and you will use that account to log into SAS Environment Manager. And then do it. So let's first talk about security. What you'll do, you will configure the environment using SAS Manager. You will sign in as SAS Boot user. You will reset the password that you initially set up using the reverse proxy method, reverse proxy server, and once that is completed, you will then configure the connection to your identity provider. So after completing the installation of SAS Viya platform, you must configure the connection to your identity provider before your users can access the SAS Environment Manager and SAS Visual Analytics. So while signed in as SAS Boot, configure the connections to your identity provider. Sorry. Select the configuration page in your Environment Manager. Then you will verify the services. You will change the identity provider to LDAP user if you are using LDAP. If you are using another ways, but mainly in Windows environment, you will use the LDAP connection and you will change the provider to LDAP. Then you will set up the administrative users, how many other users you want to administer in the platform, your SAS platform. You will set up these users in the Environment Manager using SAS Boot user login credentials. So you will create a custom group and you will add members to that. Let's say Ravi, myself, I want to be added. I will be added to this group. And user 1, user 2. Similarly, how many other SAS administrators are there in your organization? You will add them to this administrators group and save this group so that all of them will get the administrators access. Then you will configure the Kerberos. So after performing the new SAS Viya deployment, you must configure the connection to Kerberos before your users can access again the SAS Environment Manager and Visual Analytics services. Again, you will log into Environment Manager. You will configure this Kerberos and then set up this as one of the administrator and then log off. Similarly, you will also have to configure the connections to the mail service. So this mail service is required for you to set up any mail that you want to receive, email alerts or any notification that you want to receive from SAS application. You will set up this mail server. For this, you have to have a host name and port number ready, and you also have to have the mailing host name that is used in your organization, and you have to enter this information in the Environment Manager mail service option, and then you will save these options in the Environment Manager so that you can start using this functionality. So you will also disable the password reset feature and reset the SAS boot password. So when you finish setting up the Kerberos and the initial administrative users, you should reset the password for SAS Boot user so that no others can access this user. Also, for additional security, you can disable the password reset feature because if a password reset is enabled for this account, every time it resets, you have to you have to reconfigure your entire SAS web platform, which will be a headache, or which is not recommended by SAS. So you have to disable this password reset functionality. Again, you will do this option in the SAS Environment Manager as an administrator user and in the configuration page. Again, once you have done this password reset, disabling the password reset feature and resetting the password, you will save the options and restart the SAS logon services so that the new password and the new functionalities are enabled. If at all you are using 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 Linux, sorry, once the restart is completed, you will then configure the SAS Avaya platform to encrypt the LDAP connection, which is required to ensure the connection between the LDAP client and the server are encrypted and no one can view the credentials that are passing from the client to the server, which will enable us to avoid any security breaches in the organization. Then you'll also change the administrator user password for SAS message broker. Again, this task is only applicable if you have already deployed the software in your organization. So you must change this administrator password for SAS message broker as soon as possible after you deployed the SAS Viya platform. SAS Viya platform. When you execute the following, when you do this administrator user passwords, you have to ensure you run any of the scripts using the administrative privileges and then modify the changes. So once the changes are made, it is recommended that you restart the SAS message broker, and this will enable us to make the modifications to the or make the updated password available for the SAS message broker to use. Also, it is recommended to restart all the SAS Viya services and to ensure the updated configuration is available. Once the security is configured, we are now configuring the missions, where we will first create a backup configuration because any setup, any deployment, we first have to have the backup configuration enabled so that whatever configuration that we're going to do in the future, if at all they are failing, you can simply use this backup to restore and use this backup to come back to the original state. So again, we will do this backup configuration in the Environment Manager. There will be already a default backup schedule created, so you will update according to the needs of the organization and save the changes. So you can also view the jobs, you can run the jobs, you can monitor the jobs, monitor the backup jobs according to your need. Then once the backup is configured, you will have to configure the locale and encoding. So SAS Viya platform supports most of the SAS sections encodings that are available in the 9.4 version as well. So by default, the SAS Foundation is configured in the SAS 9.x platform, and here as default SAS locale is also configured. So you can change the SAS locale options and encoding options according to the need of the organization in the SAS Foundation settings. And you can change this configuration in the SAS v9.cfg file, and then update the configurations. So with that, let me move on to SAS Event Stream Processing. Again, this event stream processing is this step has to be performed only if your order contains this event stream processing. If it doesn't have this event stream processing, you can simply skip this. Otherwise, you have to follow these steps to complete the event processing setup and event stream manager setup. So you will first enable metering for ESP servers. The ESP is nothing but event stream processing. Then you will start this event stream processing studio and log on to verify if everything is working fine. Then you'll also verify, you start the ESP server. And then you log on to the SAS event processing Steam viewer to ensure everything is working as it should. And if at all it is any encryption or authentication is required, those options can also be set up. Once the SAS event stream processing setup is completed, then we will do the SAS event stream manager setup, where you will first log on to the SAS event stream manager. You will verify all the configuration settings and then ensure you see a successful logon screen. Then you will configure the ESP server for SAS Event Stream Manager and perform all the necessary steps that are mentioned in the deployment page. And then click on Save to close the configuration of the ESP server. So with this, we are completing the post-installation task. We will now move to validating the deployment. So in the validating the deployment phase, we will first verify access to SAS logon and SAS drive. So what we are doing in the validation phase is we will log into all the SAS portals, SAS web clients, desktop clients, etc., and verify whether everything is working as it should. So first we log on to SAS logon page. How are we going to log in? We will use the server name / SAS logon. So server name, reverse proxy server, is the server name that you have set up while doing the installation. And you can also see this information in your documentation, post-installation documentation guide, and you'll get this information, and then you log in here. Once you see the successful login screen, it means the SAS logon is successfully installed. Then to verify the SAS drive, you open this URL. Again, change this reverse proxy server to your server name, and then if you see the SAS drive logged in successfully, it means that you are able to log in. The next one, we will log on to your version of SAS Studio. We will use the host name of the compute server and then SAS Studio. We open this URL and ensure all of the studio related items are loaded. And if you see the logon credentials are successfully accepting it, then it means that SAS Studio is also validated. Then we also have to verify SAS Viya file locations. There are certain directory paths that you have to go and verify. So mostly it will be in C drive program files, SAS and Viya, which is going to be your home directory. Then you can also see the installation and configuration directory separated out there. Therefore, if you see them, it means that everything is complete, everything is installed and configured. Similarly, if you navigate through the same location, you will see other folders like spree, repositories, WAR files, deployment files, log files, backup files, etc. All are available there. Once the file locations are validated, we then move to the cache server monitor access. We will use a reverse proxy URL and then cache shade default HTTP location. If you're able to successfully open this page, it means that our cache server monitor has been successfully deployed. You can access it by opening a web browser and enter the URL in the address field. Then we'll also access the SAS Environment Manager. Again, we have already accessed this Environment Manager in the earlier step, where we have configured the cache users, configured the backups, etc. So it means that this Environment Manager is already working fine. Similarly, message broker is also we have verified. Then SAS infrastructure data server also we have verified, where we will just have to log to the location of the program files and validate the results. Then overview of data access verification. What we will do is we will log on to SAS Studio using the host name SAS Studio that we did earlier. Then we will open a new cache session. We will see whether the SAS snippets or any snippets or any files that are available. We'll just open one of the example file and we'll click on run to see whether a new cache session is opening. Once the new cache session is open, it means that the data access to the cache server, Cloud Analytics server, is also working fine. Then, for example, we will also verify our access interface to ODBC, just as an example, by running this libname statement in the SAS Studio. And if you are able to successfully get the connection established, it means that our deployment is also successful for ODBC interface. And if you also have to do some configuration for Snowflake, access interface to Snowflake, you will run the same libname statement in the SAS Studio. And if you see results coming out of our results in the result tab or output tab, it means that again our access interface to Snowflake is also successful. So once all these validations are successfully completed, we can safely say that our validations, our installation configurations and validations are also successful. Yeah, so this completes the validating of the deployment. So last step is to complete the deployment. We will share the in the deployment completion phase. What will happen is the other administrators will come to know about this deployment information. What are the server names? What are the port numbers that are used? What are the usernames that are used? And if at all the administrator can be safely shared by the passwords, so the other administrators will share the passwords and of cache account, SAS Boot account, etc., and then carefully stored in a location where it is accessible only to the administrators to do the administrative activities. And we will also let our users know about the successful completion of the deployment, and we will go live with the SAS Viya platform 3.5 or 3.4, whatever version your organization is choosing to use, and we'll let them know that deployment is completed and ready for use. With this, the SAS deployment will complete. Of course, once the deployment is completed, there are other activities that you do on your day-to-day basis. So I'll discuss that in my next video. Thank you.